So this is the die that I'm using for the trees for this card. You could use any die with different trees or whatever. This one just came out and I really love it. So I wanted to use it for this particular card. So we're gonna cut it out 3 times. So I've cut it out once with a dark colored cardstock and twice with a little bit lighter within the same shade. This one here, I've used different colors of green. Use whatever you like. I ended up just cutting a whole bunch of them and then just choosing whichever ones I liked. So here we go. So our cardstock pieces are 4 1/4 by 5. It needs to be 4 1/4 because if you have them 4 inches wide, you're going to have either a tip of a tree cut off or the base of a tree cut off. It's that simple. Take away the excess. That can all go, and then just take your die cut out of the die, and look how pretty that is. So some of those we're going to keep them as is. Some of them we are going to cut into different pieces. Let's cut the next one here. Now this particular piece of lighter green cardstock that I'm using has kind of a plaid texture to it, so I am cutting on the opposite side because I don't necessarily want my trees to look like they're plaid. So there we go, second one done. I'll take the excess off in a minute, and let's do the last one here. And there we go, last one done. So I'm going to just have those trees cut out for this particular card. When you're cutting your cardstock pieces for your trees, you'll end up with some extra pieces. You may want to keep them on the side just in case as you're, as you're laying your card down, if you say you want an extra of the big trees or whatnot, that way you just have these get used rather than tossed away. Now, having said that, I'm seeing right away that I'm using 2 of the big trees, whereas I'm using basically clumps of the small trees. So I'm just going to go ahead right away and cut one more of the biggest tree from one of those scraps there. Where did my top plate go? There it is. Now we have it ready for when we need it. My little die pick is somewhere under here. There it is. Gotta love tools that roll away on their own. There we go. So we have all of the trees die cut that we need. So I'm going to put my machine behind me. Before we glue any of those trees to the base, what I first want to do is take my piece of white. This is one of the white pieces that when I first cut my card base I had left. So I'm going to cut that at 7 inches, which is the width of my card. And what I'm doing with this is I'm just creating a snow base because I don't want to have a chance that I'm going to see any of these little bits to my card right here. So I've got my width here. I'm just going to tear it to have kind of a natural edge to it. And there we go. And that is going to get glued to the bottom right here. Once again, making sure that I'm only putting glue on the part that's going to actually attach to the card base, so I'm not accidentally gluing the hills behind it. So that is going to cover the bottom parts of my little side pieces there. And I have that there. So for this particular card, I actually did it in 2 pieces. For this one here, I just did it in 1 because it's really not necessary. Other than the fact that you can see the ripped edge here, you really don't know that it's in 2 pieces, and no one would ever have an issue if it was only in 1. So we really don't need 2. If you wanted to add another layer just to have a little bit more texture, you absolutely could. So I'm gonna let that dry and I will see you in the next video and we'll start attaching some trees.